you can't appreciate infinity because you're a finite being. You're identified with being a finite being. So, of course, how can you appreciate infinite love? You can't. You've demonized it in your mind, and we've demonized it in our culture. Every time you judge or criticize evil, what you're doing is you're rejecting God's love. You're rejecting yourself. You're hating yourself. Because all hatred, all judgment is self-hatred and self-judgment. You want to limit God so that he suits your limited needs, the needs of a limited finite being. But God is an infinite being. So every time you try to limit it, you distort it, you falsify it, and you only deepen your problem. The solution to being a finite being is not to take God and make it finite to match you, but rather to realize that, oh, I'm finite, there's something beyond me, something infinite. Let me expand myself to infinity so that I could go up to God. You see, the mistake of a devil is trying to drag down God to his level. That's what people are constantly trying to do. Because otherwise you can't handle infinite love. It's too much. It's too good. It's too powerful. It would dissolve your limited human identity. And you've called that death. You've literally called God death. And you spent your whole life running away from it. And now you wonder why you're so confused and why your life is so dysfunctional and why the world is going to hell and why everything is so crazy. Well, it's because everybody is just like you. Everybody is trying to demonize God and run away from it. And that's why mankind is so confused about this topic of God. You know, it's been thousands of years that teachers have been coming to mankind, trying to explain to mankind what love is, what God is. And mankind kept rejecting it and misunderstanding it. Why does this keep happening? It's too radical. It's too much. Mankind isn't ready to understand it yet. You see? And of course, because these teachers and God itself is selfless, they don't want to push it upon you. You have to come to God. You have to come to love. Love can't be pushed upon you. You have to be wise enough and conscious enough to accept it for yourself, to be interested in it for yourself. That's the tragedy of this whole thing called life. And this contributes and even deepens the love even further when you realize how tragic it is that for the last 5,000 years, the history of mankind has been mankind rejecting God's love over and over and over and over and over again, leading to the deaths of thousands and millions and hundreds of millions of people, to torture, to suffering, to rape, to all this. When you realize all this and you realize, aha, that is God's love, that's when it hits you. That's when you really understand. See, God has been trying to reach out to you with this love your whole life, but you've been too scared. You've been running away from it because you're a finite being. And of course, it couldn't be otherwise. It's a totally necessary, and it's a perfect tautology. This is what love is. This is what reality is. This is what truth is. This is what consciousness is. What is the connection between love and absolute freedom? They're identical. How so? Well, absolute love has no restrictions. So it has no need to change anything. It accepts everything exactly as it is. So you might wonder, well, why didn't God create a better universe? The answer is because God loves it exactly how it is. The question really is, why do you hate the universe as it is? Why don't you change your perspective so that you love it exactly as it is? So rather than, you wanting God to change the universe, how about you surrender yourself and realize that the universe is perfect? How about that? Oh no, Leo, I don't want to do that. Well, there's your problem. There's your problem. People don't appreciate how scary true freedom is. Total freedom. Total freedom means that consciousness explores itself to infinity, into every nook and cranny. That means consciousness will explore the Holocaust, consciousness will explore rape, consciousness will explore murder, consciousness will explore cannibalism, consciousness will explore incest, consciousness will explore burning the Amazon, consciousness will explore greed and theft and slavery. All of this consciousness will explore all of itself. All of itself until it's complete, until it's total, until it's one. It will not reject anything of itself. That's God's point of view. Now you might wonder, well, why would God be loving? Because it's infinite intelligence. Because it's selfless, because it has no needs, it needs nothing, it fears nothing. So what do you do when you're infinitely intelligent, infinitely conscious, totally selfless, you have no needs, you have no fears? That is the very definition of love. Imagine if you were a being like that, what would you do? You have no needs. There would only be one thing worth doing at that point, and that is to radiate love. That's the only thing, because you have nothing you need. And you're too conscious to hate yourself. See? Consciousness and love are identical. You can't have one without the other. Let's do a little thought experiment, a little visualization exercise for you to start to wrap your mind around what the love of God really is. I want you to bring to mind what it's like to be you and to have lived your life. Think about your whole life as a totality. Think about all the different aspects of your life that you've loved and enjoyed. Think about being yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you love being you? Hopefully you do, or at least at some points in your life you felt that way, where you just thought to yourself, man, it's really nice to be me. I love being me. Bring that to mind. Now imagine that sense of your whole life, everything that defines you in your life, your body, all the stuff that's happened to you, all of your memories, everything, your humanity, even your biology, all of it. Think of all that and imagine letting all of that go so that you completely stop being you. And now imagine that you become some other person. Imagine that you become a crippled or disabled person in a wheelchair. Imagine you become an ugly person. Imagine you become a mentally retarded person. Imagine you become a murderer. Imagine you become a rapist. Imagine you become a cannibal. Imagine you become a tyrant or a dictator. Imagine you become a feminist. Imagine you become some alt-right white nationalist. Imagine you become a thief. Imagine you become a greedy criminal CEO who does white-collar crime. And now imagine totally loving all of that without any exception whatsoever, without even flinching, having the courage to want to explore all of those possibilities of consciousness without any fear or resistance. Notice if there's any fear or resistance, like, I don't want to be a thief. I don't want to be some nationalist, white nationalist. I don't want to be some rapist, that would be bad. Or I don't want to be some ugly person, that would be bad. I don't want to be a disabled person, that would. Let all of that resistance go. Imagine yourself being so selfless and so free as a consciousness, so unattached to your own body and to your own mind, to your own beliefs, to your own preferences and ideas and wants. You're so totally selfless that you don't even have any personal desires other than to experience everything you could possibly become. That is God. That is the love of God. That desire for total freedom and total selflessness. That complete desire to explore every possibility of what consciousness could be. That is God.